What's up, YouTube? Today we're doing something a little different. It's going to be a long form video, and we're going to be ranking every NBA team by their roster. And I say we because I'm here with Scythe.
Yeah, hello.
Alright, so let's get into it. First up, we got the Wizards.
This is a pretty clear lottery team. They have depths, but they don't have a number one option.
Exactly.
Really. Their best player, in my opinion, is like CJ McCollum. So I wouldn't really say that's a very good number one option. Probably one of the worst in the NBA.
Probably. All their number one option is mostly like a number two option on any other team. So this is definitely a lottery team.
I wouldn't even say number two.
We have the Golden State Warriors next.
They're probably a play-in team, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they were last year, and they got the addition of Jimmy Butler, but they were kind of still a play-in team. Also, the West itself has also gotten better, so their roster is not just good enough to make. They could be early exit, but they're most likely a play-in team.
Yeah, I don't see them making it far in the playoffs, especially since they're trying to trade away Kuminga soon.
And next up is the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I think they are probably going to be an early exit. They had 2 deep playoff runs, but
yeah, back to back.
I just don't see them.
But their roster is it's not
their
like
roster
that.
Isn't that good.
I see them making. They definitely make the playoffs for sure.
No, 100%. But I don't think they have the roster to compete in the West.
Definitely not. OKC Thunder. Well, definitely they just won the championship, so.
Yeah, and they haven't made much additional moves. And they also just got Topic back, and then also got some good draft picks. I definitely think they're champion.
For sure.
And
then the Phoenix Suns just lost Kevin Durant. They got Jalen Green now.
I'm stuck in between missed playoffs and lottery team because they still have the team to be a missed playoffs and not be lottery. But I think that because they still have Devin Booker after all, but their depth just isn't as good. So I'd probably say a lottery team.
Yeah, they don't have like a great bench, so they're probably most likely a lottery team. Maybe I don't even know. They'd probably be they're either lottery. They're on the border of the two, so. Yeah, I'd put them under the Wizards because the Wizards are for sure a lottery team, but the Suns they're like right in between.
Yeah.
San Antonio Spurs.
So I think that if this team is healthy, they could easily make a deep playoff run. I mean, they have one of the best depths in the NBA.
Oh yeah, definitely. Their bench is super solid, and then if Wemby can come back healthy, and then the rest of the team can stay healthy.
Yeah, if De'Aaron comes back at the same form, Wemby comes back even better, they could probably be champions, but I don't know if we should have that talk yet because they still haven't made the playoffs in the past 5 years or something like that.
So for now, we'll put them at early exit because I think that's solid. Above or below the Timberwolves?
Probably above because they have a better chance at the playoff run.
We got another lottery team pretty much here, 76ers.
No, this might be a hot take. I think that they're a play-in team because of how weak the East will be next year. I think that if they can stay healthy, which they probably won't, but I think if they can manage to at least have a decently healthy team, they could be a play-in team. Their roster is still solid. I mean,
it's not the worst. That's a good take, but I mean, if Paul George or Embiid can stay healthy. It doesn't even need both of them to be healthy. Like, if one of them can stay healthy.
Yeah. I would say missed playoffs.
Yeah, I'd say missed playoffs, or like right under play-in.
Yeah.
Because they're not terrible, but they're not like bad enough to be a lottery team like they were this year.
Yeah, I definitely don't think they're a lottery team.
And the Houston Rockets.
I think they're probably going to have a deep playoff run. We still have to see how the chemistry will work between all their new players. I mean, they got DFS, Kevin Durant, Clint Capella.
I agree.
We don't know.
So we don't know. Yeah,
We
the
don't.
chemistry hasn't we haven't seen anything so far.
So I think that deep playoff run is fine for now, but they definitely have a chance at the championship.
Yeah, we just have to see how everything plays out in the regular season.
Yeah, because they did it last year with a very young team and a number one option of Alperen Sengun.
And they just lost to Steph Curry. So
Yeah.
and then we got the Toronto Raptors. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, I think Scotty is like a very. I don't know, like he's not a really good number one option. He still hasn't developed into what people think he could be.
I agree. I agree.
I don't think they're bad enough to be a lottery team though. Like they
For me,
have
they're
the
like right in
talent.
between missed playoffs and then play in.
Yeah, in my opinion, they're kind of like the Suns, but a little bit better. Depth wise, at least.
Yeah, for sure. So I think they missed the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Then the Detroit Pistons.
I think they're an early exit.
They were
If
this past year, yeah.
if the East is really like super weak, like weaker than we think, then they could definitely have a conference finals run. But I just don't think they'll be able to get past the like Magic, Cavs, Knicks
Yeah. And
because
then
of their
they
problem.
just lost Dennis Schroeder too, so
And they also lost. They're probably going to lose their Malik Beasley due to his allegations.
so
So
yeah, I see early exit like they were this past year, but a couple more years, they build some more chemistry. They'll have it for
yeah,
sure. They'll probably get it soon. New Orleans Pelicans.
this is probably a lottery game. I mean, even if Zion stays healthy, they just don't have the depth to really do much,
They do not at all.
especially in
Especially
the
with
West.
yeah, and then your number one option is Zion, your number two is Jordan Poole. And none of those guys are
Jordan
like
Poole,
100% guaranteed healthy.
yeah, that's one. Them, they're like one of the least healthy teams, and I just don't trust them to be healthy again.
The Indiana Pacers.
With the Halliburton injury, I don't know if they make the playoffs. I think they definitely are a playing team, but I don't know if like they can really facilitate with Pascal Siakam as their number one option. Like he had some really good performances in the playoffs,
I agree, I agree.
but
But yeah, I don't think because that and Achilles is pretty much like a season ending, so he might be out for the entire season. So I don't see them doing
yeah,
much like without him, especially as Pascal Siakam is their number one option. So you're
I
right.
think that
I think play in for sure.
yeah,
Denver Nuggets.
they're probably. I mean, with the addition of Cam Johnson, I think they got a steal in that trade. I mean, they gave up one first round pick. That's a seventh grader right now because they got a 2032 first round pick and Michael Porter Jr. to the Nets for Cam Johnson, who I think is a way better player than Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah. So I see them as deep playoff run.
And then also with the addition of new depths with Bruce Brown, Jonas Valanciunas, and all the other people they signed, I think they. I don't think they have a deep playoff run, but I think they could be an early exit and still make the playoffs.
Yeah. Maybe like second round probably. I'd put them above the
Yeah,
Spurs though.
yeah.
Next we have the Brooklyn Nets.
Lottery team.
No questions asked. No discussions.
Yeah,
I think they're even like more of a lottery team guaranteed than the Suns.
yeah.
Dallas Mavericks.
This is a really good roster. The question is if they can stay healthy. Because Kyrie's out for about half of the season, so they'll be starting D'Lo.
And then Anthony Davis is never healthy. And when he
Yeah,
when he is, he plays like a god, but
I think there's a if Anthony Davis stays healthy and Kyrie's good, back to his normal self whenever he comes back, this is definitely a deep playoff run team. I don't think they can do much if they aren't healthy. I think at the beginning of the year they'll start off slow, but with Kyrie and everybody back, I think they could definitely be a good playoff team. But I would say for now, put them in early exit.
alright.
I don't think.
I think they're better than Timberwolves.
Yeah,
The Orlando Magic.
So this is probably an early exit team. I mean, their depth is decent. They have a Paulo as their number one option, which I
And
don't
then
really trust a whole lot.
Franz is
But
their number 2. Is good.
Franz is, Franz isn't a bad number two whatsoever. I mean,
And then as they just
one of the
got
best.
Desmond Bain too. So I think they're also
Yeah,
they stay at early exit.
yeah. They were one of the worst shooting teams last year, and getting Desmond Bain is a huge addition for them, a 3-and-D wing for them.
Yeah, so I think they're early exit. I think they're probably above the Pistons.
Yeah, I think that first or second round exit for them, probably.
Now, one of the best rosters, in my opinion, in the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers. At least one of the best starting fives.
No, definitely one of the best starting fives. I agree with that. I think that they have a chance at a deep playoff run. I don't think they're an early exit. I think the West is super competitive, but I think that it's gonna the three teams that I think have the best shot in the West are the Thunder, Rockets, and Lakers. Lakers, the only reason I don't know if they have a really good chance is because of their bench. Their bench is like really
Yeah.
questionable.
Their bench is rough, and then also they don't have like a true center really.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton has never been a good he was a good player in like 2021, but he's always been disappointing, really.
But if LeBron can still do what he's been doing for these past 20 years, and even at the age of like whatever he is, I don't even know. And then if Luka can stay healthy, which he usually does, it's not too bad. Then they'll definitely make a deep playoff run.
Yeah.
The New York Knicks.
I mean, with
think
how weak the East.
this roster is definitely probably a championship roster.
Yeah, they have a really good roster, adding Gorshan Yabusele and can't think of his name off the top of my head. Jordan Clarkson. They added both of those people for their bench. They are a really good team, and they improved their weakness, which was their bench depth.
Yeah,
I think they're
even one of the best defenses in the league too, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, they have OG Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges, one of the best defending wings in the league. I definitely think that's.
I just don't know how it's going to be though after they just lost Thibodeau. So that's the only questionable thing.
They signed Mike Brown, or I think that's his name, from the Kings last year. Whenever they fired him midway through the season, he won Coach of the Year like 2 years ago. So I mean.
Next up is the Sacramento Kings.
That's tough. I think if they do trade away. What? Sorry, my bad.
I think they're like in between lottery and missed playoffs for me.
Yeah, I think if they trade away DeRozan or Levine, or both even, I think that they are probably going to miss the playoffs. I think they're gonna aim for the lottery, but I don't think that they'll be bad enough to be a lottery team. I also don't think they'll be good enough to be a play-in team again.
Yeah, they're just. I think they definitely missed the playoffs, and then they're looking to trade one of their stars. So.
Yeah, that's true. They have a decent big three. I mean, it's not a big three, but Levine, DeRozan, and Sabonis isn't a bad trio. But they're probably going to trade one of those people.
Yeah. So missed playoffs? I think they missed playoffs.
Yeah.
Probably could be like better than a lottery team, but like not as good as a play-in team. The Utah Jazz.
Lottery team. I think with adding Walter Clayton Jr. and Ace Bailey, that'll make them a little bit better. I think they could go from like the 15 seed to like the 13 or 14 seed in the West, but I don't think they're definitely not a play-in team. That's for sure. Okay. And the West is just too difficult for them to even do anything in the West, so they might as well just tank again.
Yeah, I agree. So next we got the Charlotte Hornets.
again, it's one of those teams that's like, if they can stay healthy, maybe they're a playing team with how weak the East is. But
yeah, I see them. I see them as a playing team if they stay healthy, but
I'd say just to be safe, put them in missed playoffs for now. But if they are healthy, I think playing is very reasonable with
next
how
up
weak. The,
is the East is pretty weak this year. So yeah, I think I agree with you. They missed the playoffs most likely.
yeah.
Next up is the Miami Heat.
I think if they added Kevin Durant, it could have been a lot better for them. But I also don't hate this team. I think that they have decent depth.
I see them kind of staying at play-in team. Maybe a little worse than they were last year, but I see them staying at play-in.
I think they get a little bit better, but I don't think they're getting out of it because they were still the 10 seed last year.
Yeah.
I think they will stay as a play-in team, but I think they'll be like a 7 or 8 seed with how weak.
They need a better number one option because Tyler Hero, he's not bad. Don't get me wrong, but they need a true scorer really.
Yeah.
Because Bam and Tyler are like they're good number 2 and 3 options, but other than that, they don't have a number one option.
Yeah, after trading away Jimmy, they clearly got worse, like a lot worse.
The Atlanta Hawks are up next.
This is a tough team. I think that their early exit, they definitely improved their roster. But, like, I just don't know if they can, because Jalen Johnson's coming back. They have Dyson Daniels. I think they have a really good starting lineup. Probably one of the best in the East, at least.
Yeah, I see them as an early exit as well. They definitely got a lot better this offseason.
Yeah.
And because sometimes they have issues staying healthy, so if they could stay healthy, then they probably make the playoffs. I see them as early exit.
Yeah, probably.
Next up is the Memphis Grizzlies.
This is tough. Because, like, again, another team that depends on will they stay healthy.
Yep.
Like, if they can stay healthy, they're 100% a play-in team. But if they're not healthy, they're missing the playoffs. Undeniably. I mean, they just got swept, and they lost Bane.
Yeah. You lost Bane to get KCP.
And Cole Anthony. I think they could both play some minutes for them, but I don't think it'll be really a great addition.
So I see him, being like maybe 11 or 10 seed. So maybe play in, maybe not. It depends if they stay healthy or not, really.
Yeah, they're on like the border there.
Next is the Los Angeles Clippers.
They're probably... I'm trying to think of the teams in the West, because, like, looking at the top, there's the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the Spurs, the Timberwolves, Thunder, Rockets, Lakers. I think this will be the year that they finally are a play-in team. They aren't they have a decent roster, but I don't know. I just don't think
they were early exit last year, lost in 7 to the Nuggets.
Yeah.
They were the 5 seed. Or was it the 4 seed? I don't remember.
Yeah, the 5 seed.
But yeah, I see them finally dropping off this year, becoming a play-in team.
Yeah.
Next up is the Boston Celtics, who have a great roster, but lost their pretty much number one option in Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust Jaylen Brown as a reliable number one option. He's not bad, don't get me wrong. I mean, he just won the Finals MVP 2 years ago. Or 1 year ago, I guess. But he really... I just don't trust him to lead.
Yeah, I think he was great like as the number 2 option behind Jason Tatum. But I don't see him like truly being the number 1 option, especially for pretty much the entire season.
Yeah, even if they make the playoffs, I don't know if they would throw Jason Tatum in just to play, even if he comes back during the playoffs.
Yeah, because
But I think
Jason Tatum is the top 5 player in the NBA, so you can't do what you do without him. I still see them making the playoffs because that roster is one of the best in the NBA, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think probably an early exit, especially without Jason Tatum. And then they also lost Porzingis.
I think that another big issue with them is they don't have a center anymore. I mean, their best center is like Neemias Queta or however you pronounce his name.
Yeah,
I don't know how that'll work.
Yeah, no center. Pretty much not doing a lot in the playoffs. Because you're going to need some rebounds, so. I see them, early exit. Probably above a couple of these teams.
I don't think they're above the Magic or Pistons, in my opinion. I think they are a little bit worse.
So, next is the Cleveland Cavaliers.
With how weak the East is, they're easily contenders. I mean, they probably have one of the best shots with a good coach. He just came top 3. Wait, I think he won Coach of the Year, actually. And then also a really deep roster. Big question is, though, that Darius Garland will be out half of the season with a finger injury. I don't know who will start for them at that position.
Yeah. But yeah, I see them probably deep playoff run. They got caught.
Wait, hold on. They just signed Lonzo. So Lonzo will start at point guard for them.
Yeah. I see them probably deep playoff run. They're definitely better than most of these early exit teams. But I see them, they got caught off guard last year by the Pistons.
Pacers.
By the Pacers, yeah. My bad. So yeah, I agree with you.
I think they'll have to prove that they're not frauds this year.
Yeah, if it's not this year, then I don't know what's going to happen. All right, the third to last team, the Chicago Bulls.
This team is going to be, if they still haven't re-signed Josh Giddey, I'm pretty sure. And he's restricted, which means that they can match the offer that somebody else gives him. But if they don't match it, I don't know how they'll, because he wants $30 million a year. And I don't know if the Bulls will want to pay him that, even though he had a spectacular season.
Yeah, he had a great season, so if they don't want to pay him, that's their fault.
Yeah, I think that the Bulls are probably a missed playoffs or a play-in team. I think they're on the border there. With how weak the East is again, I think that they're probably a 10 or 9 or 10 seed. They were the 10 seed, no 9 seed last year.
Yeah. So I see them play-in.
Yeah.
The Milwaukee Bucks.
With the loss of Damian Lillard, I don't know if they really can do much. I think they're either going to tank or be too good to tank, like the Grizzlies. They're too good to tank, in my opinion. They still have Giannis, which is a top 3 player in the NBA right now.
Yeah. So I agree with you, their roster is just, it's too good to tank, but also they could easily make the playoffs. They were the 5 seed last year, so they could be a play-in, but if they're gonna tank, they're too good for it, so they'll probably only get missed playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think they're probably higher than the Grizzlies. And then the Portland Trailblazers.
They just traded away their best player, in my opinion, in Anthony Simons for a 35-year-old, which really confused me. I think they just got robbed. And then they also lost Ayton. They have, I think, Robert Williams starting at center for them.
I think this is easily a lottery team.
Yeah, I'd say they're a lottery team more than likely.
Alright, so this is our final list. We got in the champions, or could be champions category, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the New York Knicks. I agree with those. What about you?
I think they're alright. I think the Thunder, definitely, they just came off the championship. Knicks, they have a chance at it with how weak the East is. They have a deep roster. I like it.
Then we got deep playoff runs. We have the Rockets, the Lakers and the Cavaliers.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And in our early exit category, which we have the most teams in, we have the Denver Nuggets, San Antonio Spurs, Dallas Mavericks, the Timberwolves, the Magic, Pistons, Celtics, and Hawks.
Yeah, I think that Celtics, I need to see them play first, but they could definitely be a playing team. I'm fine with them being an early exit, though.
Yeah. I don't think any of these teams go up or down from this tier.
No.
Then the play-in teams we have are the Warriors, the Clippers, the Pacers, the Heat, and the Bulls.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't think that any of these teams have a really good shot at even getting a win or a series win. So I definitely think that play-in is valid for them.
Yeah. And then missed playoffs, which we have a few that might surprise you guys here, but this is our opinion, so let us know if you change anything in the comments. But here we have in the missed playoffs category is the Bucks, the Grizzlies, 76ers, Raptors, Hornets, and Kings.
Yeah, there's three of these teams here who are a playing team if healthy. Just I don't trust them to be healthy, which is the 76ers, Grizzlies, and Hornets. If they're healthy, they have a chance at a play-in or even a playoff run, in my opinion. But I just don't think they can with how they have been the past few years.
Definitely. And then we have our lottery teams, which is the Wizards, the Nets, the Suns, the UU Jazz, and the Pelicans, along with the Trailblazers. Which I agree with all these.
Yeah, I agree with all of them too.
So I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Again, let us know in the comments if you change anything. Go sub to Scythe, guys.
Yeah. Sub to me. I need 100 subs again.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this with me.
Yep. It was a very fun video to make.
Yeah. Let me know, guys, in the comments if you want to see more long form content. I'd love to do it.